Hello, traders. Hello, warriors. And you know what else we are? Mike, we're lions
Sure.
because lions hunt in a pride. They have a community and they may see game where another one doesn't. And the pride all attacks the game like we attack trades together.
Fear?
So I thought I'd bring that up. Can I get a roar out of you? Your lion roar?
No. I just know fear doesn't make money.
All
And if
right.
you're a part of if you're afraid to afraid to go out of you're afraid of going out of the pack or something, you know good. But please
Okay, so
continue. Lighten them up.
I'm wearing my America in Distress shirt,
Oh God.
and it's for a reason.
As we
Be-
approach all-time highs.
it's more about the dollar, which
Oh,
is
there it is.
in distress. And I recall Tuesday when we were on, I said, I might finally get that sell signal with a close under 103.80. And my feelings were, I don't know if I want to take this trade. Um, but what always trumps your feelings is price action. And
Fair.
so I couldn't ignore it. It closed a couple pips under 103.80. And here's the result. It turned out to be a breakdown. We're already down, have taken out 103. So that it's already a nice trade. And, this could be the beginning of a big bear move in the dollar. And, you could have a bull market in gold with a strong dollar. I've seen that. But you never get a bull market in silver without a bear market in the dollar. So that's part of the reason silver is beginning to outperform gold um, today. And if you look at the dollar on a longer term basis, let's go out to a weekly, and that this is a breakdown. We had the failing rally at, 104.70 up here. It was pretty weak. It was 61.8 though. I was talking 104.80, 105 uh, for weeks, and we got to 104.97. And if this is a flag and we repeat what we did from here to here, you're talking under par for the dollar.
Oh, giddy up.
There should be some pretty good support under par 99. But if you just have equality like this from, 114 uh, from here, and this is 107.13, it gives you 94. So we have the beginnings of a big bear market in the dollar,
Wow.
which is also jet fuel for the stock market. And also part of it is how yields have dropped, which I had another line in the sand. I talked about it Friday in the room on TradeGATEHub when I said miners have bottomed, yields have topped. Pretty similar pattern to the dollar. We peaked at 5. We recovered not even 50%, and
Oh
yields look
boy.
like they're headed
Low.
back down towards at least 360.
It's going to need some sort of catalyst, and that Powell's out of the way. I mean, for it to change at least a technical trend. Even sentiment, but sentiment, I would think even is driving this more than technical to a degree.
Yeah.
Then the technical would break. But I have a couple of questions for you, Coach.
Okay.
What's your opinion about copper here? The number
Copper's
one of the, I apologize, and I'm not going to
okay.
give you the answer. One of the top, across the board, heavily still more aggressive than ever,
Yeah.
meaning lately. Freeport McMoran, this SCCO, if you have it there or not, but copper. I mean FCX, GOLD still. I mean, all it's taking calls today is the banks, the KRE are resting. It's all semiconductors and palladium, as you see, copper and
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah. Well, a weak dollar propels commodities. Okay, that's part of the story, including copper. And this action in copper looks like we're on the verge of a breakout. So say the low was 55 and the high 95, that's 40 cents. So we start closing over 95, you're looking at 435 coming up in copper. So
Can you go longer
bullish,
term, please?
bullish
Oh,
all the metals, platinum, palladium, gold, silver,
well,
even
you know what I have.
industrial metals, copper, stocks. When the dollar's bad, you can buy the world. Okay. When the dollar's good, it's a headwind for a lot of things. So this is a very important event of this breakdown in the dollar and has implications for higher prices really across the board until something begins to not perform with the tailwind of a weak dollar. And
we both, what that is price action.
yeah. So, and that hasn't happened yet because I mean it's really just starting. There were even myself, I thought maybe we'd go 105.80 first, which would have been 78.6, but I had it bracketed between 104.20, needed a close to propel it higher, and it got to 420 last Friday, and then the ISM came out and they sold it off. And then 103.80 was the bottom of the range. For 2 weeks, I waited. We had many intraday spikes below 103.80 during the process of it topping. I'll just go to a daily and, you could see it. That's why, again, and you believe this too, the closes are the most important part of trading. So we had this spike here under 103.80, went to, 40, but didn't close under 80. Never closed under 80, never closed under 80, finally closed under 80, and here we go. So, identifying important levels and waiting for those levels to be confirmed by closing price action, not just intraday wicks, which can just be false moves. And the close, especially a weekly close on a Friday, is even more significant than the daily closes during the week.
Oh, well, one of you better dissertations, Coach. I'm not going to lie. And I hope everybody out there, we have a lot of new viewers that are asking today about that very much. And I wanted to address these topics. If I can digress, listen, there's no denying in the room, and I don't want to explain too much, that you're not short of ideas of financial instruments or stocks to trade in the room. So I'm not going to get into some specific trades. I post them. I do, the other videos without Coach during the week to get more stock specific, predicated upon option and volume. But as I know, the traffic is almost doubling, Coach. And we have a lot of people that want to know about currencies and your macro views. And again, you have to be more active in the room because I go on price action. So
I plan on it, Mike. And I want to clarify something to our viewers too, because I got a tweet that said you're long miners, but you're looking to short the metal. When I'm trading leveraged instruments for a counter trend trade, it doesn't affect my longer term positions, which miners, I'm prepared to hold these for months and years, and they're all acting pretty good, but I think they're due for a pullback, a little wave two. And in fact, today, although a little early, I said, silver was running, and I said, silver looks ripe for a correction, and we're coming off pretty good. I would love to see a pullback towards 23.20 and the miners pullback to add to my long-term position. So I could be short the commodity for counter trend stuff, maybe even a hedge, but I'm not shorting miners. That I believe the low that we saw last week is a low that's going to hold for quite some time. It really would surprise me if they take it out. And if they do take it out, what a gift to be able to accumulate even more should that happen. It's hard to see it happening with a decline in the dollar. So just looking for a correction, and I could be long miners and I could trade both sides of gold and silver, depending upon what kind of setups I see. This to me looked like a 3 drive to a top formation.
Yes, it was posted early this morning.
Yeah.
Coach, let me ask you something with this trading. Can you stretch it out a touch? It's a trading question. It's not so much the instrument as maybe the chart. Would you suppose I have some silver cheap, not a lot. I have enough. Would you take profits on the trade or wait for a pullback to add on a dip?
Yeah, I would. I'd take partial profits.
But why wouldn't you wait to add on a dip instead and compound it?
Oh, well, you could do that too, but it boosts your psychology for you to be even more aggressive on the reload if you've let some go.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I do agree. It basically, as we discussed, even on and off camera, it depends on the time frame. But I
Yeah,
just thought that was a general question from
yeah,
seasoned people who want to compound moves that are either in an uptrend or just want
yeah.
to take partials. That's all.
Well,
That's why I said,
you see where these moving averages are converging together? 2320 looks
yeah, I
like an
do.
attractive area on a pullback.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
Uh,
So, I'm pretty much done. I want to, see what you're thinking. You know how bad Apple is that after, two nice recovery days, it can't even rally. I mean, it's really sick.
I have
Uh,
people, listen, I have decent peers, and it could be, it's not like stock twits, no offense, but I hear, it doesn't mean fade me. I'm not being dramatic. I hear it goes to, I hear people are thinking, or not even considering it. And you know what? This might be sentiment all the way to fear. I don't know. It's just there are other things to do, and I get it.
yeah,
They can go to 160 and change.
yeah,
They won't even look at it till 160-ish.
right. And that's
Or
gonna,
or a major catalyst, which might flush everybody out and say, wow, it's maybe even below 160.
well,
So
the reason they're talking 160 and the reason I was talking 160 before they started talking about it on CNBC is you had a descending triangle, which I
wow.
posted as ad nauseum. And the lesson was when a market gives you too many opportunities to buy at the same major support level, become skeptical that Mr. Market saying, "Oh, I'm sorry you missed this. This happened too fast. I'm going to give you another chance here." Oh, you know what? You missed that. I'll give you another chance here. All right. So, because most breakouts, Mike, might give you one retest on a pullback, and sometimes they don't give you a pullback. They just go. So, this was really the tell to me.
Well,
Descending triangle measures 160.
if I may say so, at 180, we say it all the time, or at least you agree that the longer something takes to do something you want and it doesn't, the longer you wait, the more you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's a simple
I took some profits yesterday. I'd be willing to uh, reshort this on any bounce towards 75 to 78
uh,
if the market keeps running. And the only other thing I see, and you called out the option sweeps on the Dow last week. So I did some intraday work after that break. We have this wedge it broke down from. And even though the S&Ps are very close to making new highs, look at this. Yesterday we rallied back to it. I said today to sell a rip in the Dow back up here at the 39 level. This doesn't look so good. And I'm not talking about a crash, but I'll talk about the rule of a wedge. Wedges can retrace 100% of the move. Okay.
that,
So I'm anchoring the wedge here at 37.3. So that's my target in the Dow, which from here is 1,500 points from where we are now.
healthy, enough
Yeah.
to scare some people and change
Yeah.
sentiment when everybody's on seems to be bullish.
And
That's fair.
and backed up by that tweet, "Don't shoot the messenger," of the Jesus feed. That people were buying puts before the break.
But it's
So
one thing to say there. One thing to say about TradeGATEHub and myself. I don't care what I'm mixed usually at the same time, sometimes more than that. But it's not like I'm bullish or bearish. I said don't shoot the messenger because I'm here to convey.
right.
I'm here to give you the menu, not tell you what to order.
Well,
I'm
he
telling you
said
what's going.
that. He said that because his subscribers don't want to hear anything bearish.
Well,
So
okay, well,
I
it's
think it was
ignorant.
him.
You have
So
to put your ego aside.
yeah. Anyway,
Coach, look, I ask a question.
yeah.
And I don't want to put too much light on one of our finer videos that could even go to a macro lesson. It's almost time sensitive, or insensitive about which lessons you post. Do you wear khakis or jeans with that shirt?
Right now I have sweats on
Ah, all right.
because man, we only show half. I'm like the guys on TV that would have a nice jacket, shirt, and tie and wear shorts.
No, I don't do that. I like dressing.
But when I go out,
Yeah.
when I leave my house, jeans.
Oh, jeans. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Dark jeans. You look like a dark
Yeah,
jeans guy.
I'm a jeans guy. I don't. I'm wearing
All right,
khakis.
let's change this into TradeGATEHub.
All right.
We'll post it
All
this.
right. I'm going to give you the screen, buddy.
Share screen.
So people want to know, what you're doing. You finding any shorts here in this kind of market? Probably hard to find
I
shorts.
posted them all this morning. There are tons of shorts. Here's the shorts. Where are we? Let's go to new share because I don't have too much time now. A&F, the short posted 19 times in the room this morning. What
Wow.
happened? I can't hear you. Okay. A&F was posted, and then we shorted AEO this morning in the room. AEO goes with A&F, and A&F had earnings yesterday. Huge range volume. It might be over. It seems like a little bit, but I saw, you know what happened? It was the same situation like posted in TradeGATEHub. CRWD had earnings yesterday, and it was up very, very nicely, and the rest of them were down. As
Yeah.
you can see, ZS is the second best of breed, and it's actually lower than it was even before the best of breed reported. So A&F reported and reversed on some decent volume yesterday. AEO goes with American Eagle Outfitters. I have a shirt of theirs, which means that it probably even topped anyway. I'm usually the last of the curve at 51. But it was a good trade. I thought retailers were starting to top. So AEO, I started shorting this morning.
Nice.
What, 26.73, a bunch of 26.50, and I'm covering it 24.20. So
Okay.
26.50.
Let me ask you a question. What was the reason for shorting it there near the opening?
Because every other retailer is getting hurt. I mean, daily. It's all under every other. It was worth. Okay, the risk was worth the reward. I did my due diligence. The actual one was shorting the weaker one instead of the better one, because if you
Yeah.
shorted A&F and it was negative,
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. AEO goes with A&F. They're both similar. Believe me, both similar in your closet next to each other. AEO opened up 18% and A&F opened unchanged.
Okay.
So you had to make the hard money, and AEO is still positive, I believe. But A&F was unchanged. That my mentor would have said, I'm going to short the ones that's unchanged, the weaker one of the group. And the stock went from 138 to 127, $10 move. And by the way,
In an hour.
maybe it sticks at the 130 strike price, but now it's a longer term move, which I'm not quite sure of. But yet again, in the room, we're posting this actively. Buying slob 20 hours ago. Adding, this is getting sexier at the right time. This was an hour ago. Chart for details. I do not like Schlumberger. All right, so I'm adding to Schlumberger. I've been adding to it since yesterday.
Okay.
I told you SCCO. I asked you the copper questions because SCCO has a ton of copper calls going up. This is definitely outperforming copper. I don't care if it make widgets, pizza, or whatever. That's a chart that I'm interested in with volume coming up to this situation. If you're thinking longer term like you are, and what's holding this thing underneath outside of anything that you mentioned before that might propel the dollar to change course dramatically. But what's underneath this, Coach?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the chart.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's why we do it together. All right. Yeah, that looks great. So it's been high. It's basically been a consolidation for 8 months, and it's finally coming
Well,
out, just
well,
like
well,
copper.
well.
It
Now
looks a
the
lot
group.
like copper.
Well, you know what? It's just taking everything like Planeteer did. It's taking
Yeah.
all the good signs. It looks like it's going to break out. I mean, I could think of tech a little. Hold on. The price action's not showing me yet, but my insights say tech could use a little rotation as other stocks are breaking out nicely, like even the banks, commodities, certain deals.
Commodities.
So, it has everything that FCX too. It has
Have you
every.
seen the commodity chart against the Dow or something? Uh, the commodity markets are so depressed compared to any equity index that just a reversion to the mean trade would be big moves for commodities, even if the market held up. So I think, you know, it's time to pay attention to commodities, and it's because of the dollar. Okay, you have to hedge the dollar, and stocks are a good hedge for the dollar. We'll see. If the dollar gets too weak, then people are going to be afraid to buy our bonds without higher rates, because who wants to buy 30-year paper if the instrument it's based in is depreciating? They're going to want a hedge and higher rates to buy our paper. So that's something to look out for down the line, not today.
I had liked something because I like to remember about that relation that you talked about. There's a chart on the GLD.
That
I
was a
won't give
cup
it
and
to you.
handle. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't give it too much credence. I tried to like these things and then I post them on TGH. Where I'll finish right here. Here's Goldman Commodities, or it's posted this morning on the Jesus feed.
Yeah.
Global commodities, energy, base metals, precious metals. It's an opinion. We're giving what we think about it, but I posted it. I mean, we might not have talked about it, but yet on TGH, it's still my job to post, our job to post what's relevant. That's all.
Yeah.
Listen, going forward, I don't know. I mean, you know what? Okay. The companies that are taking a float today, you have Avago pointing tonight, reporting tonight. Okay. So go to the proper chart, as you would say, or I would say. There's Avago. That's the old Broadcom. Mentioned several times this morning and the past week, I would say, that these semis, Micron, I made a poor trade. I punted. I lost money in it. I punted it here. I don't know why. It acted poorly. And now it's approaching 100. I don't know what's going to stop it. So Avago is the old Broadcom, and you have majority of flows today besides SCCO, which I pointed out, FCX. Everybody knows I'm in Cliff, but this is the one, Qualcomm, Coach. I mean,
Wow.
I mean,
It's in a parabolic stage.
well, hold on a second. We thought this way about A&F when the RSI was down here and it never made a new high. When this thing,
Yeah.
forget about if it pulls an. What about if it pulls an SMCI and hits an RSI of about 80, and it's only 74. But coach, it's taking a lot of calls. They all are. You know what else is taking calls? The old guys still. IBM still taking calls. Texan, I'll show before. Look at this Texan, coach.
That looks better than IBM.
Okay, fine. Texans take, and you know what the third one is? ADI. I made my career on these things in the 90s. ADI is taking calls today. So Qualcomm, Texan, ADI in front of Avago today. Like I said, the old Broadcom, PRGR is taking PRGO. Oh, that's a different one taking calls. You know what? Here's his Surf Sup reports, Alexis. Right here. I want to point that one thing just to really edify. I said Marvell, this was 20 a day ago. Marvell, all those effing calls. Can anybody deny the fact that pounding Marvell calls I post? Marvell calls have been going off the board for days. There it is. And they're going on days even more now, just like Qualcomm. So we'll see what happens.
That's a breakaway gap out of a flag.
All right.
So you could actually measure a move. You could take it from 45 if you want to 75. So anyway, that looks good.
I'm not in Marvell anymore. I'm saying
it's going to take out that high for sure that we put in 22 on that last chart. That high was not that one. I think it was showed a high in 2022, but it had a confirmed high there. Okay.
So okay, so we get it on Apple. Tesla, somebody was telling me that, based, look at it. We already brought up Apple, whatever.
Yeah.
Tesla, okay, first day up, not interested. Not even I would trade it. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's not going to go up. I'm not in it. Better trades.
Yeah.
So we have Avago, and that's it. What other stocks am I looking at? XBI is taking a rest. JD had beautiful numbers yesterday, and actually that didn't follow through. Look at the move there. Baba, not interested. Coin still going up. Somebody told me coin's going to 300, coach. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
And
when I say that, I'm not talking about, not even a guy that has 1 million followers. I'm talking about a guy.
Okay. That looks good. Can't argue with it. A lot of people think Bitcoin topped yesterday or the day before. It had that huge reversal, but it doesn't look like it's done yet.
I see more rookies selling it and more wise guys saying it's go to 100,000 than people that started buying it when it was low.
Yeah. It's going there.
You and I would never, we didn't think that at 30,000, didn't think that at 40,000.
I
The
did.
retail money did. Now the retail selling. Now the bigger
Yeah.
guys are getting used to it.
Yeah.
CLSK.
Yeah. Larry Fink's one of the best promoters on the globe. So don't fade Larry Fink.
I'm not fading Larry Fink.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean when it comes to Bitcoin.
No, but they're an active
He's probably
trader.
trying to he's going to probably try and corner the market, limited supply. That's the same thing he did with real estate after the crash in '08. I mean
Coach,
they own more you know individual homes than any other fund. They're the landlord of America.
I don't want to be dramatic
BlackRock.
because I don't. We actually wear our heart on our sleeve. I'm too old to be dishonest anyway. But one of the most powerful people and greatest moments in my life that may never make another dollar is when I sat down and was actually decent friends with Muhammad Fustat that cornered the market in the silver market in the 70s with Nelson Bunker Hunt. Tim
Oh
knows.
wow.
He's
Yeah.
a he's an uncle of my horse trainer. No,
Yeah.
Nelson Bunker Hunt. And my
Yeah.
father also digress again. The a commonality there is I also met him, but my dad also father also round up riding a horse in the Kentucky Derby for Nelson Bunker Hunt. So
Wow.
those two got together and they wound up meeting. It was kind of a wild
Yeah.
thing, but
So
and that,
so Comex had to change the rules to beat it, and they went to liquidation only, so people couldn't buy anymore. Exchanges can do draconian things when they're caught. And that was the top of the silver market when they changed the rules. They raised margins astronomically, and that was the top of the silver market that lasted for a long time. But they did take it from like 5 to 50.
I didn't get to hear the story. I didn't know him that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
You would
happened.
ask. By the way, he was the U.S. ambassador to Lebanon. He was Lebanese,
Yeah,
U.S. in fact. And you asked him, and he used to smoke a cigarette with the thing with the cigarette. He says, "Oh, I was involved in silver." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's like Bill Gates saying I'm involved in software or something like that. All right, a couple of things before we leave. All right,
All right.
Exxon updated chart. Here it is. Completely like the rest of the market, breaking apart from Chevron, going the other way. Look at that. Could you ever think that those two would be doing that? But why not? I mean, you could either buy AEO, which is at the top, or you could buy Victoria's Secret, what plummeted this morning to $17. So even in the specific retail sector, things are going. How often do you, coach? You want to talk about layover, gap up layovers? How long can you do the Chevron? What's going on here? What's the difference here between these two? I thought they ran together. They're both big basic oil banks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that'll just tell you. But Exxon
Money
chart looks
flow.
good. Do you want
Like
to
you
go and
say,
buy? Would you
money
short?
flow.
What's that?
Money flow.
And
It's getting
exactly.
more of the,
So,
it's a more crowded restaurant, as you would say.
well, everybody's chasing a lot of stocks, but that even goes to talking about with Han this morning. Doesn't why would that make sense this morning? It might not make sense to gold. It doesn't. I'm not out to make. I wouldn't figure out why Chevron is down and Exxon is up. Why make sense of it? It's too hard. Just go with the price action in the chart. It's easier.
I'll
You don't
tell
have
you,
to.
WTI is one of the commodities and maybe one of the only commodities I'm not that bullish on.
What's that? Crude?
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
WTI.
Well, if you ask me, I'm not either.
Yeah, I mean, and like remember Tuesday, I showed you the yield chart and the WTI chart, how they looked almost identical.
Uh-huh.
So lower WTI lowers the inflation rate, gives you lower yield. So there's a new correlation to watch, the yields and WTI.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot, if and I will leave with this. I know it's redundant, but if anything that we learned today, it's that we should be listening to TradeGATEHub and these videos more and more, because I think, well, first of all, we're learning a lot of re-lessons. A lot. I see that MSOS. It's waiting for news, but we're really getting to these are timeless macro episodes, which if you get into the over time will make you money in the market. Thanks, Coach.
I, I've
Those
had
can be
I,
traded.
I've had some people get back to me on LinkedIn saying their sister comes here, they're learning. People are saying that they've gotten new viewpoints on how to look at the market from coming here. So people are learning, and they are coming here and benefiting from what we say and what we show.
We do.
That's so. Some guy said whenever I see an upload of Dale, I drop everything I'm doing and listen to it. So, it's good. It's good to
Even
be appreciated.
Astro Gumbo's back. We got TJ
Yeah.
back in the room. We got some returners.
Yeah.
It's like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave.
Yeah.
That's the great part, because I'll leave it at that. But you want to close?
I've tried.
Thank you.
Anyway, all right, buddy. Have a great day, Mike.
Cheers. Thanks for everyone behind the scene at DGH.
Yeah.
Sponsored by TradeView Markets. Cheers, everyone. Have a plan.
Cheers. Thanks, Mike.
Cheers, Coach.